Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video. Sorry for the little hiatus with the holidays and whatnot. Speaking of which, I hope all of you guys had a great New Year's. But anyways, today I'm bringing you guys my top 5 Art-Tempered Kulve Taroth KJARR weapons. Whether you're sorting through the loot you've gotten the past month, or you're trying to get some last-minute drops, these are my top picks that you should be looking out for. These are going to be ranked from least to best, so let's get started. So at number 5, we have the KJARR Assault Horn. This is the KJARR version of the Assault Horn HBG, however it does have a few differences when you compare it to the base version. The Horn was the other spread HBG besides the Glutton that people would use, and it had higher Raw and Wyvern and Paralysis ammo. And it had no elemental ammo, so you could slap on a non-elemental boost. The KJARR version, however, has dragon ammo, which is good, I guess, but it does mean that you can't put on a non-elemental boost on this thing. However, in some matchups, the dragon ammo will make up in DPS when you compare it to having a non-elemental jewel. I have mine modded for 2 close range ups and a shield, but you could opt for some reload speed instead or some recoil, which if you plan to use this gun for paralysis, you do need to mod it for the recoil. In my set, I have 100% affinity, which will help getting those paralyzes since this does have critical status, and a bunch of crit boost and raw damage. Overall, I like the versatility of this gun over the original Horn. There is something really satisfying about paralyzing a monster and then getting free shot after free shot of Wyvern ammo those times you get lucky with spare shot procs, which is how you should be playing this thing. The only downside to using this gun is that if you want to use a spread heavy bow gun, you're probably better off with the Glutton anyway, but it's still pretty damn good. Moving on, at number 4, we have the KJARR Bow Stream. This is the KJARR version of the Legiana bow. This is plainly just one of those straight up upgrade type Kulve weapons, so there's really not much to say. It does have lower ice element, but it does have higher raw and affinity, and because you don't have to spec for critical element, you have it built into the weapon, you are able to get a lot more damage via jewels and other armor pieces. With the set I was using, I was able to get nearly 100% affinity, as well as capping out its ice damage and having 4 levels of attack boost and maxed out crit boost. So if you like the Legiana bow, which you should because it's fantastic, you should definitely keep your eyes peeled for this one. At number 3, we have a weapon that a lot of people are sleeping on, that I don't really hear many people talking about it, but that is the KJARR Sword Decay. This is the KJARR version of the Valhazak longsword. This is pretty much a straight up upgrade of that sword, but that's not why it's so good. It's good because versus monsters that have a weakness to dragon, this thing actually out damages the Devil Joe longsword. It's a similar situation to the Taroth Fire versus Divine Slasher, where this KT weapon needs peak performance. But if you are able to keep peak performance active, this thing will shred kids. It has higher positive affinity, a decent amount of white sharpness, higher dragon damage, and it has a level 1 slot. The Elder Seal is lower, but let's be real, who cares? And it has critical element built into it, of course. The set I had Master's Touch, 100% affinity, critical element. Overall, it's just a really solid weapon. Another benefit that this has over the Joe is that it doesn't rely on max might at all. So you can pretty much guarantee crits on all of your Helm Splitters, and that also goes in hand with Master's Touch because you have way less times where you won't be critting, which means your sharpness won't go down nearly as quickly. And finally, the sword just looks really nice. I really dig the whitish gold look of these KJARR weapons, and on this longsword in particular, it goes really well with the torn red cloths on it. So overall, guys, don't sleep on this longsword. I highly recommend it. Now moving on to our runner-up at number 2, we have the KJARR Glaive Paralysis. I actually made a video about this weapon about a week ago, so if you haven't seen that video and want a breakdown of the weapon, I'll leave a little card on the top right hand side of the screen, so go watch that and do yourself a favor. Anyways, this is of course a Paralysis insect glaive with built-in critical status. Enough said. But no, seriously, this thing has endless utility, especially in groups, and I would really recommend this to any glaive player or to somebody who is interested in getting into insect glaive. This is a great gateway weapon, I would say. And now finally, number 1, the best Kulve Taroth weapon ever, in my opinion. A weapon so good, it shook up the meta all by itself. A weapon so damn good that I also made a video about. You could go check it out. And of course, I am talking about the KJARR Strongarm Ice, the Ice Elemental Charge Blade, the only charge blade capable of doing nearly 2,000 damage per full SAED. If you play Charge Blade, you need to get this thing. If you don't play Charge Blade, you need to get this thing. If you don't even play Monster Hunter, you still need to get this thing. It's beautiful, it does insane damage, it has fantastic sharpness, and you should definitely consider giving it a go versus any monster with a slight weakness to ice. Well guys, those are my top 5 KJARR weapons from Arc-Tempered Kulve Taroth. Before I go though, I want to give a shout out to some honorable mentions. These aren't KJARR weapons, but they're still Kulve weapons, and they're still some of the best in their class, such as the Taroth Arrow Thunder, which is still the best thunder bow in the game. Despite the KJARR bow not needing critical element or free element, it still loses in DPS to the Taroth Arrow Thunder, so that just goes to show you how strong this thing is. Another one is the Taroth Strongarm Horn. This is the Kulve version of the Diablos Tyrannus, and if you know about Charge Blade, you know the Diablos Tyrannus is arguably the best overall Charge Blade in the game, and it's essentially the same weapon but with more defense, so why not? The first time I got one of these things was the first time Kulve ever appeared in the game, but it took me damn near 40 hunts to get my first one, and after this past siege in December, I have 4 of them, so thanks Capcom. The other weapon that eluded me for so damn long is the Taroth Sword Fire. This is the elementless longsword that has natural white sharpness, so you can spec for peak performance instead of handicraft when you compare it to the Divine Slasher. Last time Kulve was around, I wasn't lucky enough to actually get this to drop, but in the past month, I've gotten 4 of them, so can't really complain. And lastly, the Glutton. This is my favorite heavy bowgun in the game. It is a spread HPG with a massive spread 3 and spread 2 magazine, and Impact Mantle makes this thing a hell of a lot of fun, so I highly recommend it. Anyway boys, that's it for today's video. Good luck if you're still grinding her. I hope you get what you want. I know RNG can be a bitch sometimes. I also want to give a huge shout out to my boy Ahmed from the Discord. He's been a great help for me these past few videos. He was the one who recommended a lot of these weapons to me as well for me to try out. He sends me builds all the time as well, so huge shout out to him. And also I'll leave a link in the description to the Discord. It's always there, but just a little reminder, it's down there for you guys to click it and join up. And I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.